4 million years ago, Earth was a world both familiar and completely strange. The continents had drifted into shapes we can recognize on modern maps, but the climate, creatures, and daily realities of life were markedly different. At this time, our earliest ancestors, members of the hominin lineage, were just beginning their cautious first steps away from their ape-like ancestors, forging a path that would ultimately lead to Homo sapiens. To imagine what life was like for these early humans, we must return to the heart of Africa, where the story of our survival truly began. The world 4 million years ago was dominated by lush green forests, vast woodlands, and open grasslands. The climate was generally warmer and more humid than today, supporting an astonishing diversity of life. Mammals, birds, reptiles, and insects thrived. The tall ancestors of elephants, herds of antelopes, and fearsome predators like saber-toothed cats roamed the landscape. Among them, a new creature was emerging, a creature that walked on 2 legs and would change the course of evolution forever. These early hominins, such as Australopithecus afarensis, were an intriguing blend of the old and the new. Standing just over 1 meter tall, with long arms suited for climbing and legs adapted for walking upright, they were familiar with both life in the trees and on the ground. Their brains were larger than those of modern chimpanzees, but still only about 1/3 the size of ours. Despite their small stature and limited intelligence, by today's standards, these ancestors were remarkable survivors. Surviving in this ancient world required adaptation. The first hominins faced many threats, from predatory cats and crocodiles to venomous snakes and rival groups. To avoid danger, they relied on keen senses, vigilance, and safety in numbers. Living in small groups, possibly including family members, they communicated through various sounds, gestures, and facial expressions. Although lacking complex language, their ability to cooperate and share information provided a significant advantage. Gathering was central to their daily life. These ancestors were omnivorous animals, eating anything they could find opportunistically. Their diet included fruits, nuts, seeds, leaves, tubers, and occasionally insects or small animals. Gathering required deep knowledge of the landscape, understanding which plants were edible, where food was most abundant, and when resources would be available. In difficult times, they may have used simple tools, such as sticks, to dig up tubers, or stones to crack open nuts, marking the beginning of human creativity. Water is another essential resource, and primitive humans spent most of their time near rivers, lakes, and swamps. These environments not only provided drinking water, but also offered a variety of abundant food sources. However, they were also very dangerous, as many predators lurked in the water and tall grasses. Overcoming these dangers required constant vigilance and readiness to move when conditions changed. Shelter is a necessity, not for comfort. Unlike modern humans, their ancestors did not build permanent houses. At night, they could find refuge in trees or dense bushes to avoid ground-dwelling predators. Their small and agile bodies helped them easily climb and find safe resting places high up, away from hungry jaws. During storms or harsh weather, they may have gathered together to keep warm and protect each other. Social bonds are the glue that holds these early communities together. Grooming, playing, and sharing food helps strengthen relationships and reduce conflicts within the group. Mothers care for their children for many years, teaching them essential survival skills and passing knowledge from one generation to the next. Young people learn by observing and imitating adults, gradually mastering the tools and techniques needed to thrive. Death is always present in this world. Injuries, diseases, and predation frequently take lives. However, each challenge drives adaptation. Over many generations, individuals best suited to the environment, those who can find food, avoid danger, and cooperate, have passed their traits to their offspring. This continuous process of natural selection gradually shaped the bodies and behaviors of our ancestors, laying the foundation for further evolution. The landscape itself was a powerful force in shaping the lives of early humans. As the African climate changed, forests expanded and contracted, giving way to patches of open grassland. These changing habitats affected everything from diet to movement. Walking on two legs, a defining feature of our lineage, provided a great advantage in these environments. It freed the hands to carry food and young children, allowed better vision over tall grasses, and made long-distance travel more efficient. But walking upright also brings new challenges. It places greater pressure on the spine, hips, and knees, while also making childbirth more difficult. Our ancestors' bodies evolved to adapt, developing wider pelvises and specialized foot structures. These adaptations, though costly, provided benefits in increased mobility and flexibility, traits that have served humanity for millions of years. Cultural innovation began in these early periods, although it was still in its infancy. The use of simple tools, sharing food, and developing basic social structures laid the foundation for future advancements. Even without fire, complex language, or art, our ancestors demonstrated the roots of curiosity, creativity, and cooperation. As the sun set over the ancient savanna, casting long shadows on the ground, the first ancestors gathered together, sharing the day's discoveries and seeking safety in numbers. Their lives were short and harsh by modern standards, but not lacking in joy or meaning. Mischievous children rolled on the grass, elders quietly cared for the group with wisdom, and mothers tenderly cradled their babies. In these moments, the seeds of humanity were sown. 4 million years ago, our ancestors faced a world full of uncertainty and danger, but they persevered. Thanks to their adaptability, social relationships, and the first signs of intelligence, they survived. And through that, they set humanity on the path to civilization, technology, and space exploration. Their story is our story, a story of resilience, creativity, and an indomitable will to survive.